Welcome back. Today we're going to make cheesecake cups. I love this recipe. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different layers. It's fun for the whole family to make together. All ages will enjoy this. So what is a cheesecake cup? So basically it has a couple different layers. And I use a cup like this to make it. Basically what it's going to be is it's going to have a cookie layer or a graham cracker layer, base layer, and so the crunchy layer. Then we're going to have cheesecake filling on top of that, and you can do a couple different layers of that if you do different colors. If you don't want to use food coloring, you're welcome to leave it plain and just do one layer on top of that. And then I usually crumble a little of the base layer on top of that, and then I put a topping on that like Cool Whip or whipped cream, and then some sprinkles. And one of my favorite variations is a unicorn themed one. I used to do it for Unicorn Week in my Outschool classes. So for this one, I'm showing it right here. It has pastel colors within it, and then sprinkles and a cherry on top. It's just like making a sundae. So it's a lot of fun, really cool to look at and to eat. And then another one that I want to show you, another variation, is a Halloween themed one. Since we're coming up on Halloween, it is October. Let's do the Halloween themed one too. And for that one, I just use some darker colors, some purples, some greens, and then I'll use darker Oreos, so to make it a little eerier. So we're going to use chocolate Oreos for that. But either one, you can make either one. I'll show you how to do both, and they both taste great. I'm going to show you step by step how to do the vanilla one, but again, same steps as you're doing the chocolate. So let's get started. So for our cake mix, you're going to want to heat treat this. So if you've never heard of heat treating, for anything that should usually be baked, like a cake mix or flour, but you're not baking it, you're doing a no-bake recipe like we are today, or if you're doing no-bake cookie dough, you would want to heat treat it. That will remove anything unsafe about the flour or the cake mix, anything that might be bad in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to measure out how much we need, and then we're going to put it in the microwave on high for 30 seconds, stir it up, then microwave it again for 30 seconds, stir it up, and then microwave it for 15 more seconds. And that should take care of making it safe to use in our recipe. Usually you won't have to do this if you're making a regular cake or using flour in like cookies or something. You put those in the oven and that does the same thing. It kills off anything that might be in there. But since we're not baking anything today, we're going to be doing the heat treating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my large bowl for this, and I need 1/2 cup of cake mix. So a 1/2 cup of cake mix, 1/2, plus 1 tablespoon. So just a little more than a 1/2 cup. Take my measuring cup, so a 1/2 cup. And I'm just going to scoop it out. Just lightly scoop it out. Don't pack it down too much, just like we don't want to with flour. But I'm just going to do it casually today. So we do a 1/2 cup. Now we need 1 tablespoon. So I'm also going to take 1 tablespoon. Kind of level that off and add that to your mixture. So for the heat treatment, you can do this in advance anytime you want. You could do it the night before you do the recipe, the morning of, and then just set it aside until you do the recipe. If you do this at the beginning of the recipe, you can just put it in the refrigerator after you finish heat treating it to cool it down a little bit. This is our base layer. We're going to need 12 Oreos. Again, you can use either the golden ones or the chocolate. Either one works. Or if you don't have Oreos or you don't want to use Oreos, you can use graham crackers. You can use 6 full sheets of graham crackers. Either of these work, so up to you. And what we're going to do is we're going to crush those. You want to crush them really fine. Maybe have a couple chunks in there just for added texture, but mostly crushed up. And so we're going to start doing that. So I'm going to take a plastic bag to do that. And I'm going to use 12 Oreos or 6 sheets of graham crackers. I'm going to do my golden ones. Same method for whatever you're using here. We're just going to crush them up. And you're going to want to keep the cream filling in the Oreos. You don't want to separate them. So we need 12 of those. I'm just going to put them right in my bag. And to crush them up, you can crush them with your hands. You could use the back of a measuring cup. You could go like this. If you want to protect your countertop, you could use a cutting board under this. So you can crush them up like that. Or you can use a rolling pin. Rolling pin is really the easiest. You want to get them crushed quickly and uniformly. So So you'll see it will kind of push all the cream out of them. That is fine. That's what we just want, a mixture. So I'm just going to keep mixing these up. So once you have your cookies and or your graham crackers all crushed up, they should look something like this. And what we're going to do with these is we're going to take our medium-sized bowl and put all the cookie crumbs or graham cracker crumbs in there. And you'll have some that will stick to the bag and just kind of squeeze out as much as you can. That's okay if some is still on the bag. And then what we're going to need, we're going to add some butter to this. So it's already really good with all the Oreos and the cream filling. We're going to add a little butter to it to make it more into a crust. The same thing works with the graham crackers. You'd have more like a graham cracker crust. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of butter. So if you have a stick of butter, you should see little lines on it, and one of them would be a tablespoon of butter. So I'm going to take this, put it in a microwave safe bowl, and I'm going to melt this in the microwave for 10 to 20 seconds. It should be enough. And once that's melted, we'll add it right to our bowl, and then we'll mix it up. You can use a fork, spoon, or a spatula to mix it all up. So if your butter is still a little unmelted, you can just take your spoon or your fork or your spatula, kind of mix it up a little bit. That should melt it right down. If it needs a little more time, you can also put it back. Just don't want to put it in too long, or it could explode in the microwave. You don't want to do that. So we're going to add this right to our bowl. Get all of that goodness out of there. And then you're going to mix that all up. And this isn't really going to form anything. It's just going to spread the butter all throughout the crumbs. But it won't form into like a firm solid mixture or anything. Just going to add some flavor. See, mine's still crumbly. And then what you're going to do is, so again, this is going to be different layers that we're going to do. So this is the base layer. You're going to take whatever you want to put your cheesecake cup in. It could be something like this. It could be a cup. These are just, these are great. These are Chinettes that I found at Target or the grocery store. They're just 9-ounce size. You could use something smaller is fine too. If you want to make a smaller cheesecake cup or a larger cup, you could do larger. But these work pretty well. And I like to do something clear so you can see the different layers. But if all you have is containers where you can't see it, that's fine too. Still tastes great. You'll see it, all the layers as you scoop into them. So up to you. So I'm going to grab a spoon. And you're going to drop into the bottom. Maybe about 2 spoonfuls is fine. You can do more or less if you like. So that's my first layer. So next we're going to make the cheesecake filling. So the cheesecake filling, it's not exactly like a cheesecake because we're adding a lot of different things to it, but it has the cream cheese flavor, it has cake batter flavor, and it has Cool Whip in it. So it's a lot of great things. It's a really interesting flavor, and that's why I kind of like this. This is different. It's kind of outside the box of what you usually have. I will show you how to do that next. So for the cheesecake filling, you're going to need a couple of different ingredients. We're going to need 1 brick of cream cheese, so 8 ounces. We're going to need cake mix, vanilla extract. We're also going to need powdered sugar or confectionery sugar, so the powdered kind, not the granulated kind. You're also going to need Cool Whip. So 1 container of Cool Whip. We're going to only need 6 ounces of this, but we can use the remaining for a topping, so like to make little ghosts on top of our Halloween themed ones. So that's what you're going to need to make the filling. So to your cooled cake mix, you're going to add powdered sugar. So the powdered kind, not the granulated kind, powdered or confectionery kind is what we're using. So we're going to take 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar and add it to our mixture. So 1/4 in your measuring cup. And for this one, you can scoop it out. That works fine. Or you can scoop it into the measuring cup and just level it off. Either works. So 1/4 of a cup, add that to my mixture. We have 8 ounces or 1 brick of cream cheese. I'm going to add that right to my bowl. You want it softened. So So again, you have the option of using a mixer or doing this by hand, up to you. I have my mixer right here if I needed it, but this is working out pretty well. It's pretty soft, so I'm just going to keep mixing it. So you just mix it all together. It's going to kind of be like, look like a frosting when you have it all mixed together. But it's going pretty smoothly, so I'm not going to switch over to the mixer. If yours is a little harder, it didn't get as soft, then a mixer will be your friend for this. But mine's going just fine, so I'm just going to keep going. And you're going to add your half a teaspoon of vanilla. So you're going to take a half teaspoon, 1/2 on your measuring spoon, and add that right to your mixture. Mix that right up. So again, this looks like frosting. Looking pretty good. And it's going to get a lot more liquidy. We're going to add the Cool Whip, which will make this into more of like a mousse kind of mixture, or pudding kind of mixture, or a cheesecake kind of mixture. So what do we have in here? We have our cream cheese so far. We have our half a teaspoon of vanilla. We have our half a cup plus 1 tablespoon of cake mix. We have our 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. And now our next ingredient is going to be our 6 ounces of Cool Whip. So for Cool Whip, the interesting thing is it comes in an 8-ounce container, at least in my area, that's what it comes in. So this is 8 ounces. We only need 6 ounces. 6 ounces or 1.5 cups or 170 grams of Cool Whip. So you can measure out 1.5 cups, pretty easy to do, and add that to the mixture. Or this trick is even easier. You're just going to take 1/2 cup away from your container. So that will leave you with 6 ounces. So I'm going to take my 1/2 cup measuring cup, grab a spoon, and that's going to leave me with all that I need. And when this extra 1/2 cup, I'm going to use later to make my ghost on top of my cheesecake cup. So no waste here. So you can set that aside. And then I'm going to just take the rest of this and add it right to my mixture. So you add that right to your bowl, and then you're going to mix that up. Again, you can use your mixer or you can just do it by hand. So just keep mixing it, and it will get it will get less poofy as you mix it up. It kind of gets all the air bubbles out. So I'm just going to keep mixing it. And scrape the sides of the bowl and the bottom, get it all mixed together. You see it kind of is deflating here. We already have our base layer of our cookies or graham crackers, and this will be our cheesecake layer that we're going to add on top of that. So you see it's starting to deflate, and it's going to deflate even more when we add our food coloring. So we'll mix it even more, but just keep mixing it. You probably already have it smooth if you're using a mixer, but I like to show it both ways. So if you don't have a mixer or little ones are helping, everyone's able to do this recipe. Looking much smoother now. So just keep, if it looked a little separated, that's okay. Just keep mixing it and it will come together, I promise. So this looks more like a mousse or a cheesecake filling. So that's what we want. So I have that all mixed together. So next I'm going to show you how to separate it into different bowls so you can make different colors out of it. So you'll need the same number of bowls as the number of colors you want to make. So if you're doing the party theme, you might do 3 colors, the pink, the yellow, the blue or purple. That's always fun. Or if you're doing a Halloween theme, you might just do green and purple. Or you might do orange and black. Black is a hard color to do, so I usually steer away from that. But purple you can make. So if you don't have those colors, you can usually make those colors out of simple food coloring that you do have. So if you want to make purple, you can take blue and red, and that will make your purple. If you don't have green, you can take yellow and blue and that will make green. And there's lots of different colors you can make in variations, just adding a little more of some food coloring. I'm just going to do 3 colors, and I think I'm going to do blue, yellow, and pink. I need 3 bowls for that. So I'm just going to separate my mixture into each of the bowls, just put a little in each and then even them out so they all have the same amount. You can also, you don't need to color your mixture. You can leave it plain if you'd like. Really all up to you what you want to do. Okay. Set that aside. And so I have my 3 bowls here. And then I'm just going to add 1 or 2 drops of my food coloring until I get the color that I want. I don't want to add too much, but just a little bit. So the first one I'm going to do is pink. So I'm just going to do 2 drops. I'll do that one. And if it's not enough, just add another drop. But you're going to do that, and you're going to mix it up. And again, you can do any color you want. Just mix it all throughout. And this is going to smooth out your mixture a little bit more too. So strip the bottom of the bowl so you have all of it mixed together. So you don't have any white sections. And so that's my pink. Then I'm going to do one with yellow. Make this really colorful. And then I'll show you the one that I did with the Halloween colors. So you can see that as well. But for demonstration purposes, this is how you would mix your colors. Just keep mixing it till it's all mixed. You don't have any big dollops of food coloring and no big sections of white cream cheese mixture. And then I'm going to do blue. Again, I can make this into a purple really easily by adding a little bit of pink or red to it. And that would change my color. And I'll show you, actually I'll grab that right now so you can actually see it. So this is one I did earlier with my Halloween colors, so yellow. So I have my green and my purple. So you can do any color you really want. So these are my colors and they're very bright right now. So now I'll show you how to put everything together into your cheesecake cup. So you'll take your cheesecake cup and you already have your layer of Oreos on the bottom. You'll either have the golden Oreos or the chocolate. See, this one has the chocolate. And what you're going to do is you're going to just start adding layers. So I'm going to go do my pink first. I'm just going to add 1 or 2 spoonfuls. Again, you can make these as big or small as you want. If you want to serve more people, you can put these in a smaller container or just put less in each container. If you want to make giant ones, you just add a lot to one. And what I usually do is I kind of try to put it up on the side of the container, kind of push it. That way you can see all your layers from the outside. So that's my pink. And then I'm going to add my blue. Put that right on top. So 2 spoonfuls of that. And again, I'm going to put it on the sides. Again, this makes me think of Lucky Charms as the colors I'm seeing. And then I'm going to add my yellow on top of that. Get that layer on there so you can see it. Get a little more on that one. You'll see these are a little liquidy right now, but we're going to put these in the fridge and they get better as they've sat in the fridge for a little while. They'll thicken up a little bit better and they'll be nice and cold and you'll get more of the nice texture. So that's how that looks. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put something on top of it. So I like to make mine look like a sundae. So what I'm going to add to these, so you can have all these different things that you can put on them. Like I'm going to show you how to do the party one, which could also be done for a Halloween theme with the Halloween colors. I'm also going to show you how to do a little ghost on top of your Halloween themed one. So 2 different options. So I'm going to grab some canned whipped cream. So you could use this, or you could use our homemade whipped cream recipe. It's all nice, all natural. You can put that together, or you can just buy a can of whipped cream, or you can use the Cool Whip that we set aside. I have it right here. You could use that, but I'm going to use mine for the ghost. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just add a layer on top. So just like you were doing an ice cream sundae, this is your layer on top. And then on top of that, since I'm doing the sundae theme, I'm going to add some sprinkles. So I got some colorful sprinkles here. Just put a few on top. See those? And then on top of that, since I'm going with the sundae theme, I'm going to put a cherry on top. So I have my cherries right here. So I'm just going to take a cherry and I'm going to put it right on top. There you go. So that is my sundae with a cherry on top. So that's one way to do it. Colorful party theme. So for the Halloween theme, what we're going to do is we're going to take a plastic bag. You could also use a spoon and just scoop it out and make a little ghost on top. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a plastic bag, and that's going to make a more formed ghost. So I'm just going to put my Cool Whip in here. And then cut off the tip of the plastic bag. So I just want to cut off the very tip. Throw that piece away. So then I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to put a ghost right on top of here. So I'm going to take it, it's going to work just like a piping bag. So you're going to squeeze it down toward that part that you cut off. You're going to put a little ghost on top of here. Just kind of go like this. And that's my little ghost. And he doesn't look like a ghost yet. So to make it look more like a ghost, what I'm going to do is add some eyes and a mouth with some chocolate chips. So what you're going to do, I'm going to take 3 chocolate chips. If you have the mini, it's even better. But I don't have those right now, so I'm just going to do the regular size. And you're going to take the pointed side and put it inside the Cool Whip, point it into the Cool Whip. So I'm going to put, there's 1, 2, that makes my eyes. And then another to make his mouth. So put it down a little lower. And that is my little ghost on top of my dessert. You could also, if you want to, crumble a little of the chocolate Oreos on the top. So you have a crunchy layer, so put them down before you put the ghost on. So that is also an option. So I have 2 different options here. I have my sundae and I have my Halloween theme. So either one works. They both taste great. They do firm up a little in the refrigerator, so I would put them in there before you enjoy them. If you cannot wait, it is okay to have them now too. The flavors do intensify a little bit in the fridge, so that's why I suggest that. And when you're not enjoying them, please put them in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. They should last 2 to 3 days if you don't eat them before then. So next week, what I'm going to be doing is rainbow grilled cheese sandwiches, and I love this recipe. It is for all ages. It may sound like it's more of a themed for something to do with the family, but it is actually a great recipe for everybody because 1, I show you how to do a rainbow theme. 2, I show you a really neat way, an easy way to make a grilled cheese sandwich where you don't need to watch it over the stove. So great for everybody. So tune in next week, subscribe, like, and let me know what you want to learn next. Bye.